Welcome to Accelerating Education, a podcast for everyone involved in educating today's kids, especially those who are interested in optimizing educational outcomes. Here's our host, Richard Capone.
Okay, welcome to another episode of Accelerating Education. I'm John Williams, your host this week, and we've got Richard Capone, who often does the hosting of this podcast, but he's going to be our expert today and show you some of the things, talk about some of the things that Let's Go Learn is adding into their platform. Richard, do you want to introduce what you'd like to talk about today?
Sure. I mean, it's sort of exciting times right now because we're back to school, and in some ways, I would say AI is a lot more mature. This is every season, it's more and more mature, and this year with back to school, we're working with lots of school districts right now, special education departments, and helping them get set up and implement AI. And so it's been really interesting seeing different approaches. And I think a lot of times special education leaders just need a little background understanding, hey, what should we be doing? What should we not be doing? What's a good approach? And so I think I would love to share some of those stories with everyone that we're experiencing literally right now. I mean, this is cutting edge. A lot of stuff's happening.
Yeah, things are changing very rapidly in the whole AI space, and it seems like Let's Go Learn's been changing rapidly as well too, because AI, the large language models, have just come out in the last couple of years, and you guys have already incorporated some pretty powerful stuff into your platform, right?
Absolutely. I would say, it's interesting because it's accelerated our development, but it's also accelerated our interaction with our customers, helping roll things out. So I'd say the first thing that maybe I could just start off with is that if you're a SPED leader, people are wondering, what do I do, right? What's my policy on AI? And I would say this, some school districts and schools have a very tight policy, like you're not supposed to use ChatGPT at all, or you can use it. But here's the deal. When something is free, a technology, teachers are going to use it. So you really have to have a policy that's going to a little bit more embrace it, in my opinion, because I was talking to one teacher who said their district says you can't use it at all. And I'm like, well, I don't think that's going to happen because it's such a powerful tool, right? That the teachers are going to use it anyway. So you really need to have a policy that's going to make sense, right, and guide people.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Same thing with kids too. It's hard for a school to say, okay, kids, nobody use this really powerful AI that you can all use at home when you're outside of school, and not use it in the classroom. So it's very important to have good policies.
Sure. One of the first things we're doing right now is we've added these AI assistants that are sort of almost doing certain tasks. So we've added a reading assistant, a math assistant, and a learning plan assistant, and we've given them names, Dora, Adam, and Irma. And our approach is to allow teachers and our customers to have an assistant. So we really are sort of defining our AI. Our AI are assistants. They're not agents. So there's been a lot of talk about assistants or agents. I think in education, agents are going to be a little slower to come by, because agents are when you give AI the autonomy, the keys to the car, the keys to the kingdom. And the idea is that you give it a password and go there and go do things autonomously. I don't think we're ready for that, right? When it comes to special education, there's student privacy, there's data privacy concerns. So what we're doing is we're allowing the assistants to help the teachers even further with writing IEPs, writing short-term objectives, writing PLAAFPs, right? And so that's what we're doing with AI right now, and it's working. We're starting to do trainings with teachers where they're using our core platform, and they would maybe use the learning plan assistant, Irma, to go ahead and say, hey, write a PLAAF for me off of this Let's Go Learn data.
Yeah, so to set the stage a little bit, what did people do in Let's Go Learn to solve some of these problems before the advent of AI?
Yeah, so before the advent of AI, it's always about having good data, and that's where we're a little unique, is that we've always had really, really powerful data So when you look at the data it's very granular. I'm actually looking at some math data for those of you who are actually looking at the screen as well. And the idea is we break it up into very granular present level diagnostic. So our assessments find the diagnostic, find the present level of the students, and then that is sort of the staging ground for us to provide and support special education teachers. If you know these present levels, you could look at the reports and you could write your PLAAF statements, you could write your SMART goals. But now AI is connecting it. AI, because it's so good with language, is connecting um, data to words with the teacher guiding it. So the teacher could just say, go ahead and write a PLAAF for me, and then they submit it. We're pushing the data into the system, and literally it'll write a paragraph-based PLAAF to their specifications.
Before this, a teacher would take one of the reports. There's always been really robust reporting built into Let's Go Learn's platform since the get-go. But they would take a report and then they would essentially sit down and have to look at all the data in the reports, write these PLAAFs from scratch, like they're writing a paragraph essay. And then the PLAAF is sort of the central piece of the IEP, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like when you look at this PLAAF that was automatically written, they'd have to look it up and say, oh, the student understands applying concepts of length, they understand area and perimeter, right? And they'd have to write that from the data, which we tell them exactly what it is. But this went ahead and did it automatically by mining that data. And here's another screen I'll show you. What's interesting is we see exactly what data is sent, right? So this is literally when they start a session. And by the way, this is called context engineering. So prompt engineering is sort of the old thing. Yes, you need to know prompt engineering. How do you write a prompt to get results? But context engineering is how do you give AI the data it needs to provide good results. And here it is. We start off with, here's Jason. He's age 11. Here's his scores in reading. Here's his scores in math. And notice it's de-identified. All it has is first name. AI doesn't know which school it is. It doesn't know the teacher's name. It doesn't know what country they're in. So we become the firewall. And based on that, then a PLAAF is written, right? And this is wonderful. So you can now interact with ChatGPT and say, hey, here's some more information. Please add this. Hey, you know what? Don't mention that. I want you to mention writing as well. And then it'll just rewrite it. And because it's such a good writer, right? That's really the power. In a sense, I like thinking of AI in special education as a very eloquent writer who's at the disposal of the teacher. They can just feed it data and it'll write what it wants through prompting.
Yeah, and that's really where we are with AI right now. They're really good writers.
Mm-hmm.
And so this isn't expected to be something that you write and literally put into the IEP sight unseen. This is really supposed to be a draft, right?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And then at this point, the teachers, they could go ahead and save this as a document in our system. They could revise it themselves. We have a whole document system. But this has been our approach, very pragmatic, very assistant-based. I think for schools, just sort of broadening it up a little, I think the main thing to think about it now is there are a lot of different tools coming out, but you have to be wary. If a teacher can't do something normally, AI can't do it. Right? I always say AI is really just automating what a teacher could do normally. Like a teacher can write PLAAFs if they have good data. But if the teacher doesn't have good data, they can't write a good PLAAF. And so if somebody says, hey, I have a system that helps write PLAAFs without bridging that gap, then you're in trouble, right?
Yeah, and I remember we did a podcast earlier in the year with Professor Lynn Ryan, and she did a little bit of work taking some AI written PLAAFs and IEPs and comparing those versus what teachers were doing in her program. And what did she find?
I think she found that they were as good as the human written ones. So it was very positive results. Yeah.
Yeah. So sort of an early AI versus humans test.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see more of that. It would be great to see some really robust studies done looking at what these large language models are producing as drafts. But so far, I mean, just looking at what I've seen, it's super impressive. And you've showed this to other teachers and schools, I'm sure, already, right?
Absolutely. And right now, we're working with customers when we onboard them, and we say, okay, what are the global prompts you need? What are the individual prompts? And we're writing these prompts so that when we say write a SMART goal, it is written in their format. And that's sort of the next stage I think we're doing too, which is real exciting, is it's not programming, right? This is literally us just having the right prompts married with our data, which turns it into context engineering. So I'll just do one real quickly. What are the next 10 lowest GLS skills I should teach in numbers and operations of math? So let's say the student is low in math, and I want to know what are the next 10 skills I should teach, right? Normally, that's a little bit of analysis. You got to take the report, you got to look at it, figure it out. But now I literally just grab a prompt, hit send, and then it's going to go ahead and calculate it for me automatically, right? And we actually even built in that it validates it. So you can see the chain of thought. First of all, it's showing you all the present levels of the student, and then it's actually starting to show all the skills. So we really thought about this to make sure that it's very solid, and it guides the teacher in the process. So that was really important.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're giving the user a bunch of canned prompts that you think are going to be commonly needed, and they're already perfectly worded to really address exactly what the AI needs, just so the user doesn't have to type one up from scratch and figure out how to do that. I mean, you're already providing these, right?
Absolutely. So we have a very amazing training team, which is called our Partnership Success team. And these are, teachers with special education, a lot of different specialties, and they are literally going to help a new customer figure out what are the base prompts we want and what are some things we need to save in there. So they're not even going to have to worry about it. We'll get them started, which it's not that it really varies that much, right? There's a PLAAFP has a definition, SMART goals have a different definition. It's just the fine nuance we need to change. And so then we put those nuances in there. And I know one customer, we even have a checklist. They have a 24-point checklist for their PLAAFPs. And we're adding a little command that you can just say, check now, right? So you could basically have your PLAAFP, and then it'll check it against these 24 points, say, oh, you forgot this student's over 15, so you need a transition plan, right? So it's pretty interesting, some of the stuff we're doing. And it's not heavy lifting, but it's just being detailed. And we have the structure to support customers in reaching high fidelity.
Yeah, and you mentioned a second ago that you can actually, built into your platform, save these PLAAFPs as documents. So you have some sort of document editing system or storage system built into the product?
Absolutely. So I'm going to scroll back up to the very top, and then right here it wrote this PLAAFP. I hit the little export response, which is like a pencil icon, and now it is on my screen. I could basically hit save, and then I just give this document a name. So I could say this is going to be Jason's PLAAFP, and I can give it a category. I'm going to say it's a present level document, and I'm going to say it's an AI first draft. So we can give different statuses. So we have a whole document system stored for every single teacher. It's almost like every single teacher has their own Google Drive or OneDrive associated with the Let's Go Learn account. So that way they're keeping all their working documents in a safe place, and we allow them to tag it. So hey, I know this is an AI first draft. So after I go through here and edit it, wordsmith it, change it, add some things that I need to one-on-one assess the student with, I'll change it to teacher draft. And you can even it has a whole sharing stuff. If I want to then go ahead and say review pending and share it with another teacher, my supervisor or coordinator, they could review it. So we've got all sorts of really amazing things. And again, this is driven by our customers. This is what they say they want, and so we wanted to give them a simple system. And of course, when they're done with all this, people sometimes get a little confused. When they're done with all this, that's when they upload it to the state repository system. Like a lot of states have repos that you have to push your PLAAFPs and your IEP documentation, but they want final documents. We're about creating it in the interim, giving you an environment that's easy, and then you could finalize it and send it. The same system here is how we do prompts as well. So it's real simple. You create a new document and you give it a category of prompt, and you could write any kind of prompt you want. So I could even say, I have a prompt to write really good parent letters. So when, I could be something like, you're going to help me write a parent letter. You're going to be very soft-spoken. You'll be very tactful. Understand that the parent is, always concerned about their student, their child, stuff like that. And it's a great tool.
And you're doing all this securely too, right?
Absolutely. This is the thing about us. When we work with customers and school districts, we have a data privacy agreement in place, right? Usually for the larger ones, sometimes smaller schools. But of course, we follow FERPA, we file all the different privacy rules. And so it's important to us to make sure that customers know that their data is safe. And when they work on our platform, it's totally secure.
Yeah, that's awesome. So do you have any customers actually using this now?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, right now things are rolling out. We've got multiple customers who are rolling it out to their entire SPED department. Also, some of them are actually rolling it out sometimes even to maybe a new teacher, like a cohort of new teachers, where I think it's very overwhelming. If you're a brand new special education teacher, they're telling you suddenly, hey, you need to write, present level IEPs for your 20 students. And you write
here's a tool that'll save you time and help you do that.
Yeah, and really, it's really about one session is just how they give the assessment. The second session, we teach them how to interpret the data and start writing IEPs, PLAAFPs, and set goals. And then the third session might be refinement and support and progress monitoring. So really, literally, you think about it, in 3 sessions, new teachers are really, really empowered massively.
And do you have some professional development, some extra help for people to help get them up to speed in all of this?
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, hopefully they're getting live training for their district, but we also have a video library where we teach every single step. So if someone wants to look at the asynchronously, they can get training, or if they forget. So we've got a lot of really powerful, easy to use video support training. And of course, customer service, they can call customer service. It's free. There's no limit on customer service. We've never limited customer service. People can call customer service and get help at any time.
Yeah. Yeah, this is amazing. It seems like a huge time saver. It seems like a fantastic thing for new teachers in particular, because it really takes some of the pressure off them to create these really high-end technical documents. And using this tool, you can pull all the data in appropriately, have all the appropriate comments and sections in there. So it really seems amazing for new teachers in particular. What's coming down the road? What are you working on next? Can you say anything?
Well, we have, oh, you got to go to our website. We have lots of new stuff that's come out that's going to support special education departments. We have the life-centered education transition curriculum that's out, that's developed by CEC. So it's the gold standard in transition curriculum. We've got a behavior assessment that's on a mobile phone. So it makes tracking really simple, very easy for teachers to track expected and unexpected incidents. In the AI area, we're going to be adding some more AI assistance because we feel like, if teachers need something like, how do I do a project-based learning lesson plan, or I need ideas, how do I write parent letters? So we're going to add some more assistants that are pre-prompted, so that way it's really easy for the teacher to do that. And the thing about it is that kind of stuff is really simple for us to do, right? It's not hard. We've got the platform, we've got the knowledge in doing that. So I don't know. I'd say there's a lot of stuff coming out.
Is how do people get started now? I mean, what's the first step to take to look at this or do a trial version or something like that?
Sure. I mean, you go to our website, letsgolearn.com, click on any of the buttons. You could say, start a trial, have a conversation, talk to an expert, and then you'll be filtered to an educational consultant who can get you started right away. We can set up a demo for your team, for yourself. We can get a trial going or pilot going. So yeah, absolutely. It's very easy. We're very responsive. Just, check out our website or contact me as well. I'm happy to talk to anyone. Capone.
Okay.
Capone at letsgolearn.com.
Okay, great. Well, any other last parting shots?
No, I guess the last thing I would say is, as a special education leader, AI can transform your department and really support the mounting pressure that is just crazy, right? Funding cuts, different things that are happening means you have to do more with less now, and we can absolutely help you do that. But it takes you have to make a commitment to change your workflows a little bit. But once you commit down that road, it's not that hard. I think what's hard is that sometimes it's scary, right? You have to change the way you've been always doing things. But we're going to be here to support you. The people in our company are the person in charge of our training department is a former special education director. We have lots of expertise, people who are in the classroom, at district offices, and they understand what it takes to implement change. So
yeah,
we want to be there for you.
Well, awesome. Thanks for describing all that to us, and it looks amazing. I hope people check this out at letsgolearn.com and see how it can help you be more efficient, save time, and just make your life easier. So thank you very much, Richard Capone.
All right. Thank you, John.
Accelerating Education is sponsored by Let's Go Learn, maker of K-12 precision diagnostic assessment and instruction software. Thanks for listening, and be sure to check out our next episode of Accelerating Education.